Hello, Leo, and this is your bi-weekly reading. So it is a bi-weekly reading for Leo, Sun, or Rising signs. It's a collective reading, so just keep that in mind. This reading is going from the new moon on July 17th in Cancer in tropical astrology to the full moon on August 1st in Aquarius, also in tropical astrology. These are meant to be short and quick, sweet readings just to kind of give you a little extra guidance as you go through these phases of the moon every single month that we have, and how we can take advantage of the energies, really utilize and work with the energy that's occurring. I'm not going to really go into the astrology here. If you want to know about like the astrological highlights, I have the video for the second half of July's astrology up, and I will link that at the end of this video. Also, if you want a more extensive reading, like more cards about what the overall month looks like, challenges and whatnot, that is in the monthly readings, and I'll also link that at the end here. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of those like bi-weekly, monthly videos, astrological videos, then make sure you hit the subscribe and like button, or well, yes, that too, but the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos on the horizon. So let's get into your reading. This particular reading, we are focused on what is the area of your life that, let's say, your guides, spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in, is putting into focus for you and saying like, hey, this is where you need to place some of your time, energy, and attention. If you were to do that, this would have a ripple effect in your life, right? Like that domino effect that would really benefit all areas, or it would get maybe some energy moving in other areas. I'll say this really quickly, like as you probably have experienced, sometimes you free yourself up and free up your energy in one particular area of your life, and suddenly you just notice that places that were stuck or projects that seemed like they weren't going anywhere, suddenly the energy starts to move, right? So that's kind of why I'm looking at it from this perspective, and then also what kind of advice we can get from that. So it's interesting, we're looking at the 12th house. It's funny because I actually know a Leo who is going through 12th house transits, so I find this really interesting. But the 12th house having to do with, it's a very, it's introspection, yeah, I like that as a key word, but it's a very solitary place, right? This is our solitude, our most, one of our most inner houses, and is often associated with mental health, right? And on the more shadowy side, psychosis, it's associated with spirituality, with how we are connected to altered states of consciousness, whether that is transcendental meditations or that is working with plant medicines and whatnot, like in whichever way, achieving that kind of state of altered consciousness and connecting to the divine, connecting to the anima mundi, right? And so this is that collective kind of vibe. So definitely a deep house, a very sensitive house. It can often be difficult to articulate some of the things that we experience here because they're more felt. They elude words. So that realm of your life is what is up, you know, and maybe this is a strengthening of your connection to, let's say, spiritual practices, or maybe this is your sign, and I'm not advocating or saying that you should or should not do this, but maybe this is your sign to go have a supported ceremony of some kind. Or this is a time to spend some time alone with yourself. I know that it is in this part of the world, it is summer, so depending on where you're watching this. However, this is a kind of more internal energy. It doesn't mean you need to be a hermit, but maybe really carving out some time over the next 2 weeks to get some clarity through journaling, or spending a little bit of time just with your thoughts, just with your feelings, just with having the spaciousness to be able to contemplate the meaningfulness of your experience and connection to whatever you call the divine, whatever you call spiritual, right? And we have with this, I find it interesting that we have with this the Sun card as the spiritual advice that's coming through connected to this card, you know, because the Sun is that very like extroverted outward energy, but the Sun is also our vitality. This is a place of like warmth, and the Sun card specifically is not just, I think, one of the most beneficial cards in the deck, but I think it reminds us to be in this place where we feel we can be free and open and liberated in the sun with our whole self, and remembering what it feels like to be free from the world of responsibility and adulting, not in an irresponsible way, but to remember what life feels like when we're just with life, when we're just there in the present moment. I love that it's also mirroring being in nature here, being outside, because like I said, the 12th house can have to do with like you know, spirituality and whatnot, but maybe I didn't mention it, but also like part of that being like being in nature would be a very 12th house kind of thing, like going on nature walks or spending time down by the creek or down by the beach or whatever, you know, going on a forest walk with, even with a friend, but you know, be safe when you're out there hiking alone. But yeah, spending time outside, spending time by yourself, spending time going on maybe walks out in nature or something like that. Remember what it feels like to just be connected and not having to be in this doing all of the time. You know, that's the one thing that I can say about both of these cards, is that they mirror this feeling of spaciousness in different ways, right? So the 12th house, I think it gets a bad rap for reasons. Yes, there are some very shadowy things that are associated with it. However, it doesn't have to be that way. Like there can be some very deep and beautiful expressions of this that don't have to feel solemn. I would love for us to normalize that spirituality doesn't have to feel like solemn and somber and serious, right? Like it's so much of it seems like it is that way, and maybe some of it needs to be, and to be taken with like the utmost reverence and like and quiet in a way and like solace in that way, but it doesn't all have to be that way. And I think that's why the sun kind of comes in and shines and beams this like more playful light, right? The sun is that Leo energy, right? So I mean, it's the home of the sun is in Leo, so you know, so this is the place where you would find, you know, feeling seen in the world and recognized not just by others, but by yourself, and also feeling into that warmth, feeling into your vitality, feeling the playfulness that can happen when you are even in just your own energy. I think that's really important to consider. So I hope that this feels helpful and insightful in some way. If it does, please consider giving the video a like. It helps me with the algorithm gods. And if you want to check out the astrological highlights video or the monthly video for your sign, I'll have those both up on the screen if they're not there already. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.